first in the mornings, originally from the Bayou State of Louisiana.
I say, here at Cajun Roots Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it.
You got the dollars? You got the dollars? See the special man on YouTube. He's got it all.
I got an offer. I got the dollars. Let me have it, please. I got the dollars.
I say. This is Johnny's, the place that'll let you have it with no problem.
Let him have it.
Johnny has a sale right now. I say. This is Johnny's place. Let him have it with no problem. See the special man.
Here at Cajun Roots Reseller, you give us the offer.
You got the dollars. You got the offer. Well, let him have it with no problem. Let him have it.
You got it.
I am looking for some jewelry. End of line.
Do you have any credit?
No, I was recently involved in a divorce. End of line. Look, I'm not one of those maybe it's Maybelline gals, okay? I just want to go out on the town with Sheila and accessorize some.
See, special man.
I don't know about you, but this Joe girl is going to Johnny's place. Check out Cajun Roots Reseller right now. I say. Go see the special man and tell him the dough girl sent you.
Hello, good morning and welcome on this Taco Tuesday. It is nasty and raining outside. It's supposed to clear up. And we're currently 66 degrees. It's so comfortable outside. I love it. Let's see who was first in the chat today. And that was Angela. Hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? And Scarlett, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? And Joe, good to see you. How are you doing? Good morning, hello, and welcome. Anna Marie, hello, good morning, and welcome to you as well. And there's little Debbie, hello, good morning, and welcome. And we have the Revive It sisters here today. Looking forward to it. Class will be in session soon. Let's see who else we have in the chat. Craig, no, not yet. Can't rush that. Lord Jesus, slow your roll, dude. Have you some coffee. Stop walking in. I saw you zine in the chat earlier. Rachel, hello, good morning and welcome. I got your email. I'm sorry, but I have not got to reply to it yet because I've been very busy pumping out some videos. I'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. Buying Space, hello, good morning and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. And Randy, hello, good afternoon, morning and welcome. It could be afternoon for some of you. Let's see here. Yarna again. Hello, Teresa. Good morning, hello, and welcome. And good to see you. How are you doing? Let's see here. Scroll. Everybody saying hello to each other. And Michael, hello, good morning and welcome, sir. How are you doing? Good to see you. And for those who have not heard yet, if you are a crafter, you like sewing, I just uploaded yesterday evening, after bingo, finally, the new first video on how to make a quilted wall hanging. And that did go out last night on the New England JJ3 Quilt Creation Company LLC, or actually just Quilting Creations LLC. That is also my business name for that. And so check it out. Let me know what you think. There's more coming. And then this morning I did finished doing the video on how to create a playlist. That video, when I do any videos on this channel, will be released every Tuesday and or Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that. I had a comment yesterday after the show that they still couldn't find the how to figure out the playlist. And so I did a few different ways on how to do that, in different ways you can do it, in the video coming out today at 2 o'clock. And Michael, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Just gifted a membership, and that membership went to It's Me, Angie. So thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. It's time for the morning chair dance, and this is for you, Michael. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. The dollars. Let me have it, please. I got the dollars.
Let him have.
You got the dollars? We got the offer? Let him have it with no problem. Let him have it. And It's Me, Angie is in the chat, and this is for you. Congratulations, you are now a member of the channel. It's Me, Angie. This is for you.
Attention, attention, new member. I want to thank you. Thank you for being a friend and family member of the Cajun Roots Reseller channel. Thank you, thank you.
So, Craig, I don't know if you're not awake yet, but that should woke you up. Because that's what I like about the morning show. We get to have some music, we get to play, we get to dance, we get to learn, teach, all that good stuff. Because today, class is getting ready to get in session. Today, our guest is none other than the Revive It Sisters, Heather and Shane. So now that the class is in session, Heather, raise your hand so people know who Heather is.
I'm Heather.
And who is Shane?
That would be me.
And again, I try to do this every Tuesday and Thursday, where we bring on a guest and kind of get you other thinking about resourcing. There's all kind of ways to do some resourcing. And it just so happens that Heather and Shane both do things like thrift shopping, estate sales, and also their local thrift stores. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. And I already reached out to somebody for Thursday, but I haven't heard back from them yet. Hopefully I can get somebody for buyouts. I reached out to somebody who I know does buyouts. I've done it myself too. That's why I'm glad we can have other people come on up and share their experience and their thoughts and what they do. Remember, ask your questions in the chat if you have any questions once we get started. And so what we'll do is we'll get started with, I remember the first time y'all came in my chat. I always get somebody's name that I don't recognize. And I really butchered your name. So y'all had to kind of like, Jennifer helped me by putting it in Revive It Sisters. Oh, duh. So for those who don't know who you are, which shame, tell everybody about your channel, what you're doing, and promote yourself.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So we are the Revive It Sisters. We've been doing this a year and a half.
Yeah, just a year and a half.
Just a year and a half. We cleared the 500 mark just a few weeks ago. Yeah. That was super amazing. We are in South Jersey. We're right outside of Philadelphia. And so we thrift. Well, now that we're both off, so we're both off for the summer because we both work for our local school system. So we're both off, so we can thrift a little bit more. So we like the summertime, we kind of have a schedule.
We try to.
Or we try to have a schedule.
It doesn't always work out that way.
So like today, we're going to it's called Second Ave Thrift. I don't know if you guys have any of them by you.
They're part of like the Savers chain.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we have two new ones actually that just opened up within the last 2 months. And they were supposed to be a Savers, but they said, no, we'll keep it at Second Ave.
Yeah.
So today we're going because it's 25% off your whole entire order if you're a member.
And I'm a member. It doesn't cost anything. You just sign up and you get rewards.
Those rewards, those reward memberships are great because and then so on Tuesdays we get 25% off. Mm-hmm. And then Wednesday we might go back because they changed the colors. And then on Sunday we do Dollar Day.
Yeah, our Goodwills have Dollar Day on Sunday. So the colors, there's 2 colors every week, and they're $1 on Sundays. And then for the rest of the week, they turn to 50% off.
Yeah, so we were doing Dollar Day for a while because we were getting really good. But then I guess once it got like in the middle of springtime, it kind of like fizzled out a little bit.
Yeah, you got like the clean outs, like when everyone's like cleaning out their house when it gets like to like first spring, and then it kind of like fizzles out a little bit.
Right.
And then we were hitting these yard sales because then that's when yard sales start.
So we had the yard sale, and we didn't do that great this year with yard sales.
No, last year we did fantastic, but this year not so great. Yeah. So it's always it's always hit or miss. And then estate sales.
So we've been doing really good with estate sales. We only go on the last day. Now we might miss some of the really good stuff, but it's stuff that we wouldn't be able to afford anyway because estate sales doing the same thing like Goodwill. They're charging retail prices.
Yeah, close to. There's not a huge margin.
And we become friendly with one estate sale company, and she just texted me and said they're having a really good sale coming up the first weekend in August.
Yeah, so it's always good to have a good tip.
Yeah. So make friends with your estate sale company.
Yeah.
That's my son in the window. So then on estate sales, what we do, and we've been doing pretty well with it, is that we bundle everything. We bring our own bins, like we bring like 2 or 3 bins, or even a tote, and whatever we put in the bin, they kind of like look at it and they say, okay, give you this price. However,
you always got to negotiate.
We have gotten pretty good at haggling.
You got to know how many pieces you have in your big bundle so that you can figure out sort of how much per piece you're spending.
Right.
Some might be a little bit more, some might be a little less, but it'll average out.
Yeah. So we try to keep count of how much stuff we have in total. And we try. Because sometimes we're on 2 opposite ends and she's putting stuff in the bin. I'm like,
and we're like, how many do we have?
I have no idea. So we start taking stuff out and recounting it. And
I would love to go shopping with y'all. I bet that's a riot, huh? I want to say hello to Andrew. Hello, good afternoon, morning, and welcome to the afternoon for yourself. So you were saying savers, and some people in the chat were saying they don't have a savers. Now, I went to Virginia, and there was a place called Value Village Thrifting or Thrift Shop. That is an off-brand also from Savers.
Okay.
So there are several other thrift stores that are with it, because if you have a membership card, I was able to use my card there as well and get any discounts I had accumulated on my card. So it doesn't have to be just Savers. It could be any branch off from Savers, like a sister store, so to say.
Yeah, and I believe that's what Second Ave Thrift is.
Yeah.
Right. And so that way you can use the card and still use your points or whatever you may have that you accumulate, because that's pretty cool.
And also check your Goodwill, because Goodwill has, like on Tuesdays, our Goodwill is Senior Citizen Day. So if you're over 55, you get 25% off your total order. So always check that too, because that the 25% off, if you have a lot, it's going to be, it's a good amount. It's a good amount of savings you get.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Go ahead.
Going back to the bundling. So one thing, if you go to like bigger, like sometimes we go to bigger garage sales, or we have kind of like a funny story that we were in North Jersey at our uncle's parents' house because they were having an estate sale. So, and then we said, well, we'll just thrift up here while we're up here. So this guy was having a yard sale, but it was like in a big garage. So we go in there and we're like, wow, this is just really cool stuff. He was like wall to floor stuff, and
it was lots of stuff.
winding through. So we're picking up stuff, and we're making a pile. But in the interim, he's wrapping them up as we're doing it. And I'm like, no, you don't have, I don't really say anything to him, but I like, okay, yeah, I'm going to add this. And I'm like, you're going to do good on the price, right? We're bundling, right? He's like, oh yeah, we're bundling. I'm like,
yeah, we knew what some of the stuff was. So we figured, we'd be good.
Yeah. So we had 16 things.
Something like
that.
Yeah,
we had, because I kept going back and counting because we were both in different directions. And then you throw my mom in the mix and she's throwing stuff in there too. So we had 16 things, and he had it all at one point. Then he had it all wrapped up and like in a bag and stuff. And I said, okay, so what's the damage? And he's like, well, you got about $200 worth of stuff here. And my stomach just like dropped. Yeah. And I was just like, oh crap!
No way.
He's not bundling. He's not bundling.
He's actually going over.
He's going way over. So he's like, so I'll give this all for you for $175. So I quickly grabbed my calculator and I did 175 divided by 16, and it was like over $10.
Yeah, over $10
worth of per item,
which wasn't what he had told us. Like the one item we got, he's like, oh, I'll give you that for like $6. So
or $3. It was $5.
It was different. Yeah. So nothing was over.
So always make sure you have your calculator and you're dividing like whatever the price they say, divide that by the number, and that's going to give you your price per item. And we've been very fortunate to keep our prices $5 and below an item. And I think that's
trying to go a lot lower than that, but
if we can, it's great when you get them for 75 cents each.
Yeah, we've done that before.
So were y'all able to come down lower than what y'all wanted?
No, he wouldn't budge because I said the highest we can go was $50. And I think he almost fell over. He's like, sorry, girls, I can't help you. He's like, you got really good stuff in there. I'm like, I know what's in there.
But we wish we would have been like, hey, look, we have 16 items at $175. That's like over $10 each.
Yeah.
And we wish we would have like maybe discussed it more, with him.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could have worked something out.
Right. But we were a little thrown off by him saying $200. I was like, whoa, okay. This is not going to work. So unfortunately, we had to leave some really good stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things you want to do is don't be afraid to discuss things with the person who's running the show, because a lot of times there's one person in charge.
Yeah.
But also you can negotiate because, again, he told you $6 here or whatever, but now he's coming back to almost $10 or over per piece.
Yeah.
I would have, that's my opinion. That's what I would have done. But you told me this. Why is it more now?
And we wish we would have done that.
Yeah.
But we were just so thrown off. But it was a lesson learned. Like, so now the next time this happens, we're going to be like, wait, okay, hold on. And we'll slow down a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We have a tendency to
you don't want to take a big rush to it and all of a sudden you're not going to be happy with it. So, you want to have a good sale. I'm sure they want to get rid of it. So, Hetty, hello, good morning and welcome. And Carol, hello, good morning and welcome. So my first question to get us started with us is, when you're going outsourcing, which avenue you find is the best way that you tend to go to the most out of the areas that you go sourcing?
It's funny because it
varies.
Yeah, it varies. It goes up and down. Like right now we're doing a lot of thrift shopping. Like we're just hitting all the thrift stores, Goodwill, Second Half Thrift.
Yeah.
Salvation Army, we love to hit. We don't have them really close to us, but we do get to them. We were doing in this like spring close to summer, we were doing really good with estate sales and we were hitting more of those.
Right.
So it kind of all depends, but a lot of times during the winter, it's definitely the thrift stores and then estate sales. We kind of combo that on in the wintertime.
Because I do have a break when we do go back to school. I do have a break in the middle of the day. We're driving the school bus, so I will hit a thrift store on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday and do that. Monday is kind of hard because that's when we get all the shipping out. So we do all the invoicing by Sunday, and then Monday is kind of like everything gets shipped out on Monday.
Right.
So it does vary. It's funny and like
it has its like ups and downs for some reason. I guess like when we do really good in an estate sale, we want to try it again, So then we start hitting those. Definitely check out your church thrift stores.
Church thrift stores. Yes.
Sometimes you don't know a church will have thrift stores, but those are really, really great. Really, really great. Plus, you're helping out the churches, which is awesome too.
But they are catching on. Their prices can be a little high because they have caught on to the Google Lens as well. Those little ladies in there are Google Lensing stuff, and they're like, oh wait, we really have this really cool thing. Let's try to get it for more. Yeah. So they're catching on to. And then we also have one, and it was interesting when Tooch was on, he was talking about Max sold. So we do dabble a little bit in the online estate sales, and we have one company that does it mostly online, and they'll start their lots at $5. And we
pretty good lots. Like they start everything at $5. You can get like a piece of really nice furniture for $5. So everything starts, unless I think it's something that they know is, really, really good.
But so we'll dabble a little bit in that, but that just takes more. That takes a little more time because we got to go on the computer and then scroll through and then put bids in, watch the bid, and then all of a sudden we're like, wait, it's Friday night. The thing's closed.
Let's get back on bid. We always forget about the Friday nights, and then you have to pick it up by the next day.
Right.
So you always have to find.
Michael makes a good point about this, and I agree with this 100% because I have two places that I do make a connection with. You got to be friendly with those in the estate sale, again, because once you make that connection, and like Michael was saying, they would box up his stuff and hold it for 3 days for that 50% off. Because usually if it's a 3-day sale, they'll do it on the last day at 50% off. So that is important to build your connections, especially when you get to be a regular on certain estate sales. They get to learn you and what you're doing and how you do your things. Where I know when I started going to estate sales here, there's 2 companies that I go to. And when I get there, I got my IKEA bags ready. And I'm talking about the big body ones. And that's all I got to do is walk in there and he already knows what I'm doing. He tells me where to put my bags when I got them filled. And then after we're done, because he'll tell me, like, again, what is this price and what's that price? So 9 times out of 10, they have a little notepad. So make sure that if they're writing them down on notepads for you, that they're on there for the price they quote you at. Because when you do go to bundle, and that's what I always do, when bundling, they also look at all of that and then say, okay, I'll take this amount. Now, that doesn't mean they're firm on it, because a lot of times they'll tell you, we are able to negotiate.
Yeah.
So that is the door that's open. It says, okay, then I have a little wiggle room, and make sure you set your budget, what you're going to spend, and make sure you try to get as close to that as possible.
Yeah, definitely know how much, like, figure out how much you can spend today. Like, okay, we're going to spend this much today.
Yeah.
Packing.
Pros.
I do the packing.
Yeah, Shane's the packer. She is our designated packer.
Good morning, Brittany. All right, little Debbie says, my church thrifts won't hardly let me pay. The ladies just look at me. They look at her and pile and shrug. Well, then they say, how about $5? And it's way over 20 or 30.
That's
wow.
nice.
Yeah.
That's the places to go. But also they usually, when I go to certain church sales, there is a donation box. That for when I went to one here locally, and I made connections with the lady who was in charge. And after the church sale was completely over, I told her what I was doing. She called me the very next afternoon, like after that afternoon was over, to make an arrangement for me to go back the very next morning. And they gave me everything I wanted out that was left that did not sell for free.
Wow.
So make sure you make those connections, because sometimes they just want to get rid of it. Now, what they did was after church service, because they wanted to let their congregation go through anything if they wanted first. And then after the church service was over, I was able to meet them there. And I was amazed at all the stuff that did not get taken that I was able to pick up and resell. So, don't be afraid to tell people what you do, especially these church sales. You can make those connections there as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to make connections. Like, don't be afraid to, like, talk to people and tell them who you are. And
because we have that with Diane at one of our churches, and she gives us better prices.
Right.
She definitely does, because then she'll be like, if you take like this, like all 3 of these, I'll give it to you for this. Right. Yeah. So it's really good.
So my next question is, and I know kind of like what y'all do, purchase to resell. What is the main thing you look for when you're going out sourcing when it comes to glass or china or those things that most people are afraid to ship?
Well, we definitely like, so this is our sale for tonight behind us. So as you can see, we definitely like the decorative plates.
The porcelain.
We do a lot of porcelain. We have some Fenton pieces up there. So we definitely look for Fenton. We try to look for like the unusual pieces, like this is an unusual piece that we're having tonight. It's just, it's just an unusual shape. It's a stone pottery. So we definitely try to find like the unique things that are in it that we can afford, that we can bring the savings back to you guys. We don't try and mark everything up crazy, but I think we're mostly doing, we do a lot of porcelain. We do some glass, like etched glass, EAPG. But we definitely like, we do a little bit of pottery because Shane.
I like to put it in there.
Shane did that that was her major in college, so she knows a little bit about pottery. So so mainly it's like Fenton, Cambridge, etched glass,
Homer Laughlin, but we know that's our audience too. We know what our audience likes, and we sometimes we try and get a little other stuff, and then we see that they do like other things as well. But we kind of try and bring with the
So we do like
going out sourcing. Is there anything you stay away from that you refuse to purchase to resell? And why?
Stay away from.
Stay away from. I don't know. I don't think there's anything.
It depends if it's big.
Yeah, we don't like to do really big things. And we don't do what is it? We don't do a lot of pictures because frames. We don't have the packing for that, but we do have some pictures today. I don't know. Like we do have a slag vase. Did I say it right? Swag vase.
Swung vase.
Swung vase.
We do have a swung vase.
And I'm a little nervous about that one.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty tall.
It's pretty tall.
And we've never had one of those before, but we're gonna go for it. Like the lusterware, like the really thin porcelain. We don't shy away from too much, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But we don't do, we don't do action figures, we don't do comics, we don't do we really stay towards like the vintage stuff, the vintage hardware
Mine
stuff.
says, she said Fenton. Oh my goodness. Glass and crystal is my favorite, so I stay away from it because I want to keep them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Shane has trouble with that.
I have a really hard time with that.
To show you out, I'm like, is that for the shop or is that for you? Which one is it today?
Well, then that's the thing. I always buy what I like too, because if I like it, then someone else will like it. But so I do that. We buy what we like as well.
Yeah, we do buy what we like.
Nice.
Michael says I use air packs to ship glass. They are cheap as well and works great. The only thing is that broom on me. Wait, the only thing that broom me is broom me. I'm saying broom because that's what I see. 24-inch plotter. That was because of its size. Yeah, the bigger the items, the more you have to make sure you got them packed well. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I heard.
I never heard of air packs.
Air packs are those little things, like we get them every once in a while, and then whenever we get them in a package, I always reuse them. And I was thinking about that because sometimes like your boxes, you need a little bit of that just to so you're not filling it up with so much paper and stuff. So
yeah.
But we've never.
Also, another thing I've used in the past is pool noodles. If I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have used those just recently. And those are kind of neat.
So I heard you mention earlier, and I was going to ask this question. So and I did hear it as far as if you're going to keep it or you put it in a shop. Do y'all have any type of shop where you got people coming in off the street to look at it as like a little brick and mortar store, or do y'all have any type of antique shops, like booths at an antique shop?
No, we don't. Not yet. We'd like to do that, but yeah. So we just call it our shop.
We just call this
our shop.
This is our shop.
This is our shop. But we sell all online. Yeah, we would love to have a booth, but we just, I don't think we could afford the rent right now. So,
yeah,
a huge bag of air pocket packs are $10 on Amazon. I have them. I have a whole bunch of them, so I don't have to worry about buying them for right now.
So
all right, we have a question from Randy.
How do you get those? Like, do they come with the air in them already, or do you have to fill them up?
No, it's already there. After I answer this question, I'll show you to come and roll in strips, and you just have to cut about a perforated line. I have some large glassware sets from grandmother. Delicate stemware. Would you recommend better to sell local than risk shipping?
Oh yeah, so stemware,
Stemware.
Yeah, that is probably one thing we stay away from a little bit, especially if it's the really delicate, thin stemware. You definitely are taking a risk, Randy, for shipping that. So that probably is one thing we do.
Yeah.
Try.
When I do do the stemware, I always I wrap one and then I wrap the other and then I switch them. So like the glass part, the drinking part goes where the stem is, and then so I'll wrap two together. So it kind of helps it a little bit. But we don't do a whole lot of I don't think we've actually ever done the really delicate stemware, but shipping is it does get scary. You get so excited to find the stuff and then to sell the stuff, and then you're like, oh no, now I have to ship it.
Right. Exactly.
Heather came home with a whole bunch of big stuff the one day, and I was just like, oh no,
I have to ship that.
You have to ship that because it's hard to find the big boxes too for some of the big platters and stuff.
Right.
It is difficult.
Yeah. So we try to stay within that.
These are the two types that I use. There's several sizes like this.
Okay.
And they come in a long roll. And then you can take, there's a perforated line on the middle that you can just pull, slightly pull, and it'll take it off already done. So you can make the size you need to where you can layer them down on the bottom of the box, put them up inside. So if you have a longer one, you can actually use it to curve the sides of your boxes.
Yeah.
These are a little bit lighter so that it doesn't take up most of your weight in your boxes.
Yeah, that's good because then the weight wouldn't be as the weight wouldn't be as much.
These strips that are thinner but longer. So you have, and these are double, so you'll have these that you can use, and then also perforate in the middle where you can tear these apart as need them in a package.
Yeah,
so it comes in a roll.
Yeah, we're going to look at that because I have been noticing that. I've also been using the little peanuts. Somebody sent us something, and we had all these peanuts in the box, and then so now with our little figurines or little this part, I will stick. Sometimes they're even smaller, and I'll stick the little peanuts right in there instead of using packing paper because I always make sure I pack all up in there. Any little holes and stuff has to be filled in.
No holes.
No holes.
I hate those popcorns, and the worst thing is to get a package in the mail and somebody sends you their shredded pieces of paper as a filler in a box. I hate those two things.
Yeah, I never liked the peanuts until just recently, and I was just these are actually working out pretty good. So now I just have a bowl of
electricity. You go to open the box and it sticks to your arms and all that. Yeah. Ryan, hello, good morning, and welcome. That's just my preference.
Yeah, surprise stemware is the one thing we probably don't do a lot of because of the delicacy of.
Yeah, well, it's that, and it's the pricing. We really can't get the amount that it's actually could be worth or close to being worth. So
all right, Bearded Picker, hello, good morning, and welcome. I feel so spoiled by all my wonderful toy air pillow machines. There also is a machine you can purchase and you buy them where you fill the air in them, and that's what Bearded Picker's talking about. I've seen those. I've seen a machine that he's gotten, but not all of us can do that. But he does have even a tape machine that you press a button for the size, it gets it, pulls it out, the brown tape, and it already has the little wires in it and all that. Where he has a machine that just press a button, it comes out, it's already wet for you. You don't have to worry about it, and just stick it to the box. They have those that you can get if you can get them. So if you haven't seen them before, he does have videos on those machines that he's talking about. Check it out.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome.
It's a game changer because I remember when he first got the first machine he had, had 1 or 2 or 3 little slots or whatever. And then he got this huge machine, and it's like, oh my God. So, but
that is great.
The worst thing when people get shredded paper, I hate that. That and those peanuts. Oh, those.
I don't fill my boxes with peanuts. I just use them to fill in little spaces.
She needs wrapped handles. Yeah, really, right? The only I just don't like them.
Yes, that's what I do, Debbie.
Goodwill Online will ship a small item in a big. Yes, just like Amazon. Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. Auntie Mama, hello, good morning, and welcome. And how are you doing? Dad's Vintage Garage, hello, good morning, and welcome. How about paperweights and glass ashtrays? Good morning, hello, and welcome.
So we do that.
Paperweights.
We have done paperweights. It's not specifically a paperweight, but we had glass swans. They are the crystal ones. They were heavy. So this is just an example. It's not a paperweight, but they had the very delicate, the necks and stuff and the beaks. So I wrapped it really good with bubble wrap, but then I stuck it in another box. And, I wrapped it really good and stuck it in that box and then put that box in because they had other stuff. So maybe double boxing it if you can, especially if it's going with other stuff, because there was 2 of them. So I did 2 of those and then something else. So I think that helps.
That's another thing I do. I always float, if it's the only item, for example, and it's glass or breakable, I always put it in a box and float it inside of a bigger box.
There you go. Yeah.
That's another thing when packing anything, especially breakable. You want to make sure there is no movement in that box whatsoever. You want to make sure there's no movement.
That's a good thing to bring up because in the beginning, I wasn't, I was new at it, so I wasn't sure. But now I make sure it's all tight, and then I just keep squishing in paper or whatever I have to fill it. So it's not moving. There's no movement.
Well, the thing about that too is even though you have that filler paper, whatever you're using to fill around the inside box that you're floating, if it does get damaged in the shipping, that middle box should be protected. So you should be okay with that center box. So that's why.
And I just bubble wrap like crazy, you know, like if I think it's something that could, you know, break, I just keep wrapping it with bubbles.
I like sending everything wrapped in newspapers and then seal it in a big sandwich bags. Okay, I have a thing about that. One of the things about newspapers, you have to remember the printing that's on those papers. When you use a newspaper to wrap something, if it's something that is of value and somebody gets it, a lot of times it can, the printing can be transferred into the item that you sold. And a lot of times you can get that off of those items. It smears it. So be careful with using printed newspaper from any newspaper that you use. Make sure it's not printed on with something from the ink, because it can transfer onto your packaging. And the reason I'm saying that, again, I don't know if you actually do that or if it's a joke, but I have gotten several orders that I've bought from people to resell or for personal use, and I have it received. I'll go to open it, and guess what? It's wrapped in newspapers, and the printing from the paper transferred onto the product that I had wanted for a gift. So be careful with using newspapers. It is a good point, but don't use it if it has printing on it. There is a filler paper you can use instead.
Yeah, I get the big bundle of packing paper. It's just like it's a newsprint or whatever.
Yep.
And that's what I wrap everything in. So everything gets wrapped in that, and then it gets wrapped in bubble wrap. And if it's intricate, then there's other stuff inside that. And then so I only use newspaper for stuffing the boxes. That's
right. Now, one thing too, if you have a local newspaper in your area, get to know the person or somebody there. They do tend to, they can either do it and give it away, or they do sell it for a small portion for the end pages, the paper that's still on the end of the roll that you can get from your local newspaper. I had one that I went to when I first started at the town next to me, and I made arrangements, and next year they closed the office down. So I could not get any rolls. But they do have it where you have to speak to somebody, and you can get them. The end rolls is what they call them. I am shipping.
I also heard that you can go to Aldi or Lidl, maybe, whoever. I think our Aldi puts everything in paper bags because we have the no plastic.
We had to buy them, but
we had the no plastic bag ban. So you can actually go to Aldi and buy a box or a container or a bundle of paper bags.
Yeah.
And another reason we know. You can rip up those. You can, rip up those bags and use that as filler as well.
I had a feeling you were joking. That's why I said that.
Yeah. Also, U-Haul.
U-Haul.
U-Haul's a good place for packing materials.
Yes, because they have, you can get it for free.
Yeah.
Our U-Haul has a bin, and people bring back boxes and paper the
paper is the best because it's the big brown, craft paper, and that stuff really is really great. So I love when we get a whole big, big thing of that.
But so that's sourcing out your shipping. That's sourcing for your shipping material.
And this thing right here about the cake box, that's another thing. Someone and I were having a conversation the other day after the show. There was somebody who shipped a box, used a box. It was for, I want to say it was either something with food, dog food or something. And they had to reject it and repack it because it had something on the outside of the box that you cannot ship. So be careful what kind of boxes you ship stuff in.
Yeah.
They can refuse it. Can you buy in rows? It depends. If you had a newspaper place that you can go to and contact with somebody, they will tell you where you can go. They either will sell it or they will give it to you. As long as you make a connection at any of even if it's one of those newspaper places like we have here that does a weekly. And a lot of times when they get to that certain enroll that they can't use anymore, you can go there and get it for free, or they do sell it for a low price. And yes, you can buy them. So just look at your local newspapers or anyone that has like a local town paper that they do. not necessarily the news, because a lot of times everybody gets it on the computer now. I buy rolls of craft paper from eBay or Amazon as fillers. Works. Yes, it does. That's what I use too. Free sourcing resources for shipping. There you go. That's one of Deborah's videos.
Okay. Nice.
I get packing paper from my local Beckons company. So rolls that are heavy duty. Yes, and you can get them for free sometimes. So yeah.
That's nice. Yeah.
Tell people what you do, and you'll be surprised. I save my batting ends and pieces from quiltings. No, use them for packing glass. I didn't think about that. I do too. So if anybody has any questions having to do with reselling, please feel free to ask away. Remembering that Heather and Shane here today are sharing their experience on how they resource. So out of the places you do go to resource, where is the one that you go to that you find the best deals most of the time?
I would say estate sales.
Yeah, estate sales.
Estate sales. The last day on estate sales. Especially the bigger ones, and if you look at them online, because we always look at them online at estatesales.net or estatesales.org, if they have a lot of the stuff that you buy, and if it has a lot of stuff, usually by the last day, they still have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just looking to get rid of it. And that's where we've done our best. I mean, there was one place locally that did a estate sale, and they actually did it for weeks because there was just that much stuff. And he was actually an antique dealer. So he had the best stuff in the world.
Yeah.
And they were just, we were getting it really, really good prices.
Yeah.
They
were just bringing boxes out of the shed. The shed was like floor to ceiling boxes, and they'd bring a box that but it's all Fenton.
Yeah, and you're just looking
oh
through.
My gosh,
it's my favorite thing in the world because I got to dig through boxes and you open it up and you're like, oh, look at
this. and don't be afraid to hover. I'm very good at hovering.
I don't hover, but she hovers.
Shane does all the digging. I kind of hover, and I'll see what someone's looking at, and then I'll very nicely say, "Hey, if you're not going to take that, I'll take it." And then lo and behold, here she's like, "I'm not going to take it." I'm like, "Okay, thank you very much." And I'll put it in my pocket. But yeah, definitely, watch what other people are grabbing, be aware of what people are looking at and see if you can grab something real quick that they're not really realizing what they're doing. Yeah. And, yeah.
Aaron has a question for y'all. You ever buy storage lockers and resell from them?
No, we've never purchased a storage locker before.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a little scared of that.
I don't know if they do that around here.
Oh, I'm sure they do that. They do it. They do it.
I haven't seen it.
I don't know where, but I know that they do it everywhere. So I'm sure they do. I just I'm a little scared of that.
Yeah, that's like not knowing what you're buying.
Yes, check the low and high shelves. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And even underneath, because I have found some things underneath the shelves that I'm sure someone has put there on purpose so that they come back, next week or whatever, and it's a cheaper price. So definitely, just really check behind things, check under things.
And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times too, it could be something that doesn't belong. Some places are organized by categories or by departments. Okay. And there's sometimes that I've found where there's an item that shouldn't even be there that's in the back of everything. It's like, oh, did somebody place this for that? So I wind up picking it up because it's something that I like to resell.
Yeah.
We just found a glass piece we were checking out, and Shane just happened to look up.
And I'm like, oh, look at that.
I'm like, and she pulled this beautiful art glass. I'm like, what? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and definitely look, especially at your Goodwills and stuff, especially when they do have discount days, people will go in and hide stuff. So if there's a bunch of bags and they're all clear glasses and everything, you might want to just really look through the back of those, because that's where people are sticking them.
Or by the lamps.
The lamps is lamps.
Check the lamps.
Check the lamp section. And so there's always things like that.
Yes.
That get hidden in here. Like, what's this?
Yeah.
Even inside things
kind of
too.
funny.
And that's true too, because I've never really found too much inside things, but you'll be surprised.
Well, we just found a bag of prescription pills inside.
I opened up a teapot
this week. Yeah. So I handed them to the lady at the counter. I was like, "We just found these." She threw them away, of course, but she's not going to leave them in there.
The Creations by D says definitely open boxes of merchandise, checking for if they're broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. That's a good thing. Never give it for granted if it's in a box that it's all there. Or that it's what you think it is.
Right. Especially with the online auctions, when you go to pick stuff up, make sure that they're giving you exactly what you paid for. And check the pictures very carefully, because they could look like they're good, and then you get there and it's got major chips in it. And
a lot of times they will take pictures, but if you're not scrolling through all the pictures, you'll miss the ones that they're showing the imperfections on.
Yeah.
Right. So the tips of the day is to buy the dang things in the minute you see it. Yeah.
Yes. Don't put it down.
Don't put it down.
If you're not sure, put it in your cart.
That's what we do. Like we'll just put stuff in the cart, and then if we like it, we put it in the cart. No matter, we don't even look at the prices, just sometimes look at the prices, but most times we just put in the cart if we like it. And then we go in the back of the store, and then
we look through what we got.
Then we just Google Lens. So you'll see.
And then we look for chips and cracks and all that stuff at that time.
Yeah. So a lot of times there's one Goodwill, we're going in the back by the lamps, and we literally are on the floor going through everything with piles. And then we have to watch, because people start like
coming by
and like sharks, like circling. And I'm like, we're not done yet. I'm like, no, that's mine.
And at estate sales, you got to watch too, because we've had people, pilfer our bins.
Yes, because that's one thing. If you're bringing bins in and you're making piles, especially if it's a big one, not everyone's watching.
Yeah, sometimes they have places where they are watching. But if not, we've gotten stuff taken out.
Yeah, because the one big one that we were going back every week, we had some really nice lady vases, and one of the ones was taken. I'm like, oh my gosh, where is that? And I didn't know until we got home. And you're going through everything. I'm like, wait, where's that other lady?
Where's that mug we got for mom?
Yeah, someone took a mug that I literally wanted to give my mom, because it had a bluebird on it and it says mother, and that was gone. I'm like, where did that go?
Yeah.
But so you gotta, if you have a pile, definitely go back and check.
And I've done that too. Like sometimes you don't know, what I mean? I was just at a garage sale, and they had a whole box. They had boxes everywhere full of stuff. And I went, I was looking through this one box. She goes, oh, that's somebody's. I was like, oh, well, let me go grab the piece I took out of it already, and I'll put it back, because I'm not going to take stuff that's, somebody else's. But so it does happen, sometimes by mistake.
Yeah.
And in most places too, especially estate sales, a lot of times they do have an area like around where you pay that they'll let you set up things to where if somebody does go reach it, somebody's always sitting at that table, letting them know, look, that's already taken, that's not for sale, it's already sold.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure there is a staging section that you want to bring your stuff to, so hopefully that you're able to get it when you walk out. Terry made a comment that happened to me on Facebook Marketplace. I've even asked if there were any chips. They said no, you get there and there's chips.
Yeah. The other thing you can do when you go to estate sales is you can bring a third or fourth person. We bring our dad.
Yeah.
And our dad is our watchdog.
Yeah. We just put him in a spot. He stays there, and that's it.
Or she'll bring her son or my son, and we'll say, okay, this is your job. You're to stand here and watch this stuff. So
make sure nobody takes our stuff. Don't thief it.
Right.
Aaron has the question, when you go to estate sales, do you go to the high dollar areas or medium class area?
They don't
really do high dollar areas in our estate sales.
Yeah.
It's kind of all mixed in.
Yeah.
We do stay away from the stuff that we know is like super, super expensive, like in that we know that they're not really going to come down in discount. So if that helps. We definitely try and get the stuff that's on the really nice stuff that we know they'll sell at a lower price.
Right. Yeah. Or if it's a really good one, like if the state company that we know, I'll go, and if it's really good, and I'll say,
hey, Uni,
I'll just be like, hey, I really would like this stuff. You know, what can you guys do for me? And they know that I'm going to keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know the estate company, you get to know the people well enough, they could give you a break on like the second day rather than the last day.
Like you know, whoever you said, Johnny, or somebody else said that, you know, they'll box the stuff up for you and they'll hold it. We've never had that happen, but that would be really great if they would hold it for us. Yeah.
Well, again, most of the places I've gone to, even in Louisiana, before I even became a reseller, there was always this holding area. And some places will have like these shelving units that they'll use, and for staging or for holding. And they'll even have it with a sign, this is the holding station or the holding area.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, most places do have it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a comment from Carol. We were at an estate sale this weekend. They had holding areas. I just about tackled two guys who were checking out the items. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to make sure you have ways that you can save your stuff, because a lot of times people are they just vultures, just like at the bins. Same thing.
Oh, the bin. We haven't been to the bins.
Not been to the bins yet. We're gonna go one day, but we haven't been there yet.
We haven't
My
been to
friend
the
picked
bins
up
yet.
a Louis Vuitton leather wallet for $2, and she is keeping it. I want to sell it. Sell it to her. I hate it when you get chips with no French onion dip.
Ew. Gotta have that French onion dip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if anybody would like to join us, I did drop the link in the chat. It is pinned at the top of the chat. Again, if you would like to come on and promote your channel or join us in the conversation, you're more than welcome to. Just remember, do not click on the three dots to the right of that box. Just click anywhere in the middle of the box will open, and there's a link. You're more than welcome to come on up. Please make sure your camera and your mic is attached, because it will not allow you to come on until those are done. And then I do have to verify that it's you. On any other type of sourcing that you do or yet you're thinking of that you haven't done yet, what are those? Have you ever done that you want to do but you've never done it yet?
Well, it's probably the bins.
Well, the bins, yes, but Heather also wants to go to an actual auction.
Oh, an actual auction.
Yeah.
Like we did that a while ago, a couple years ago. There's a big place down in Mickleton, down 295.
That was like years.
That was
years
like
10 years ago. They were looking for furniture.
Yeah, we were trying to get furniture, and they had an actual auction. And they still have it, and you can look at the stuff and buy lots and stuff. So I want to go to one of those auctions where you have the paddle and you go, yep.
And you got to watch yourself too, because it's just a slight movement that I think it's a bid.
Right.
So my next question is, have y'all ever, or are y'all in the area where y'all can go to those mile-long type garage yard sales? Like there's the different ones.
We have the Columbus flea market. We went once. We used to go when we were younger all the time. We did go once this spring, and either it wasn't a good weekend or what have you, but it wasn't a lot of sellers there, and the ones that were there were not selling them at the prices that we could afford,
right?
To resell at. So we haven't hit it too much. We did go to one in Pennsylvania early, like months ago, and there was some really good stuff there. There was some good tables that we couldn't afford, but then there was a woman who had a table, and she had some great stuff, and she was just basically, $1, $2. So I guess it all depends on, the different vendors that are there.
But we haven't gone to those those long yard sales. The mile yard, we don't have any of those. We have community yard sales.
Yeah, our town-wide yard sales, which we do hit.
Yeah, and those are usually pretty good. And we have done the one that we did in Delanco. That was really good. Our truck was full of stuff. So
yeah,
the town, it just depends on the town.
We did do one time. We had there was a town-wide yard sale, and it was raining that day, and it so nobody had it. But as we were driving back home, there was these two guys, young guys, and they're just putting stuff out on the sidewalk. And we saw some furniture and stuff, so I'm always interested. So we pull over. There was so much stuff. I mean, the Christmas trees, the ceramic Christmas trees, they were just putting it So we got a lot of stuff from that.
Yeah. So,
you-
and then,
you always
and then
check
other
out
people
that
start
stuff, too.
other people start coming because they saw what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I said, they're like, is this okay? I'm like, the guy said we could go through this, but they're just
throwing it away.
They were just throwing it away. It was just two teenagers like, yeah, you can go through it.
Yeah.
But with that, it was like personal items as well, like checks.
Yeah,
and
there was some stuff that
should not have been in the garbage bags.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
that's one of the things too. My very first time I did it, there was a sign on the side of the road that said "free take,"
mm-hmm.
and I am nervous as hell because I was like, "Oh my god, hopefully
I know that. I did that too, Johnny. I cannot take something free off the road. It is so hard for me to stop.
It's when you're driving down the road and you see it and you come back and it's gone, which you should have stopped the first time and it's gone already. You know, it's like, oh,
yeah, that happens when I'm driving the school bus because I'm driving the school bus. And I got my bus date. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that. And I'm like, I can't stop.
No.
That's what I was thinking of, like the 127 sale. There's so many videos of people that go to these long sales, and this was called the Highway 127. And so far, I've never been to one. But one of the things I've learned from tips that people are telling is when you go to these mile highway long sales, and most of the time, the main highway is going to be your flea market styles, a lot of stuff that's on high dollar.
Mm-hmm.
I've always heard the tips are to go down the streets of this main highway event, and you'll find better deals down the streets in the neighborhoods.
Yeah,
that was what I've heard. So, and I've seen a lot of videos that people have been doing, and I haven't been able to do it, but I see a lot of videos with them, and that's something I think it's from north to south to Alabama. I think it starts in Pennsylvania and goes all the way to Alabama, I think.
Oh my gosh.
And there's one on the Highway 64. I've heard of that one. So yeah, if you watch YouTube on some of these videos, they do a lot of collaborating.
Drunken drive. I think it's called the drunken. That's
the
called,
junkin, not the drunken.
The junkin drive. I like.
There is a J there.
Something sipping while you're
going. No. Not if you're driving.
There is a J there, not a D.
I'll be driving. You'll be drinking.
Let's go.
She'll be doing the drunken, and I'll be doing the junkin.
Let's see. Thursday, I'm going to. Oh, so it's this weekend. Starting in Galveston, Alabama. That's what. Yeah. Okay. It does start in Alabama. Yep.
But I think
it's always this time of the year too.
I think Linda Lee has one by her.
Yeah, that's the other thing we would love to eventually. And we always say we're going to do it, and then we don't. But like, we'd love to go to other states. Like, we want to go to Ohio. And we'd love to go down south and like just do like little road trip thriftings. So maybe next year we can do.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So now they're still on from the wine from the date night, huh, girl?
That was a fun night. We had fun that night.
Yeah. It's hard though when you have teenage boys and they don't want to go.
Y'all ready? We got somebody coming in the back room.
All right.
On the piano. And that's none other than the bearded picker, Scott.
Yay!
I just want to remind everybody the 127 is this week. It starts Thursday.
Okay.
It's the longest one and goes from Gadsden, Alabama to somewhere in Michigan. So if you live anywhere near it, it's generally pretty good. Thursday and Friday. Thursday will be tent days. Friday and Saturday a lot of yard sales, but I can only do one day this year, so I'm doing Thursday down here in Alabama. But because y'all had mentioned a lot of yard sales, so I just want to remind everybody that's this week, and the weather's going to turn out. Looks like the rain is gone from this end, so we've had rain for 11 straight days.
Can I ask you how long? Like how many days is it?
It's Thursday to Sunday.
Wow.
The most I've done in a day is like 45 miles. You just can't. It's 600 and some miles long. There's just so many. I mean, you'll get yard sale every couple miles. There's stretches of it where there's not any, but like my favorite part's Ohio. I was trying to get there this year, but my wife decided to break her ankle, so I'm not going to Ohio. But it's because you'll go to these little towns, and each little town you'll get to, it'll be a town-wide sale, and then you'll go to the next one, and it'll be so there'll be yard sales on the way. So each town will have vendors. Each town will have yard sales. It's an experience. You've got to do the 127 at least once. It's so much fun.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And you can always pick wherever you're at along the sale, along the route, and you don't have to do, because some people do the whole route, and I don't know how they do it, but they try. You know what I'm saying?
And I meet people who know me along the way, so it's a lot of fun. So if you see me out there, say hello. There's a YouTube meetup, I think Friday night in Crossville, Tennessee. Forget which group they are, but there's people meeting there. But
that would be fun to go with a group. Like say, hey, let's make it a road. Get a bunch of resellers together and do that. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, one of those big
that's a myth. Most people think you can't go with the resellers, but I would tell you that the four of us would have completely different eyes. We'd all pick something different. I go yard sales every week with somebody, and it's been 3 years, and we still don't see the same stuff.
I'm glad you said that, because I hear that a lot, that people do not want to collaborate with others when they're going to garage sales or yard sales or these mile long ones, because they don't want to take up the advantage of getting things and missing out on things. But all of us collect and find the different things. Like y'all have y'all category and niche. I have mine, and Scott has his. So if you do go in a group, and I've done this before with Carol and Robert and others, and we all source differently. And what's good about it, even when we go to the bins and do a meetup, we're all looking at different things. So when we're at a bins, I already know if I'm with, for example, New England thrifter, that's Helen. I know she does a lot of crafting stuff. And so if I'm finding things out, I'm putting in my shopping cart for her. And then when we meet up as a little group, I said, look, I found this. Are you interested?
Nice,
it goes to her. If not, it goes back in the bins.
Right.
So why not?
And we just did that. We just did that just recently with 2 other resellers that do sell the same things that we do. And we were a little nervous about that because, we don't know too much, but they were very nice. And, they actually handed us some stuff and said, I think this is more your style. Or I'm like, why'd you put that down? He's like, well, I already have several of those. Yeah. You go ahead and take it.
We were nervous because they've been around the block a lot longer than I.
But it worked out fine. And
it was fun, and we learned a lot.
Yeah, and you just can't think of it like as a competition. Yes, no. You both sell the same things. But if you just go in there and have fun and just say, oh, darn, I wish I got there sooner. Oh, that's so cool. You found that first.
Yeah, you got to be like that. It's more like
people miss how much. You said an important part. You said you learn. I can't tell you how much I learn whenever other people in the moment go, this is why I bought this. I'm like, man, I never would have looked at that. You learn so much with other people that you can watch videos and stuff, but when you experience it in person, you remember it way longer.
Yes.
Yeah. The knowledge that you'll receive from thrifting with other people is far more that you'll get far more from that than you will from like the one piece you missed out because they got it first. It's just,
for example, when I did the meetup with Carol and Irene and Leo, and we were all in the bins area, I had passed up on some items because I knew they were fake. So say Carol or Irene got it, and they came up to me and says, what do you think about this item? I said, put it back, it's fake. And how do you know? I then started telling them to show them, because we're teaching you other things and they didn't know. So you don't know what you're going to be able to teach somebody just by being able to collaborating with others. It's very helpful for everybody.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
Because we had something in our cart, and then the one guy said, oh, did you see that chip that it has on it?
And I didn't see it.
And it had a pretty significant chip on it. So they're like a second or a third set of eyes for you.
Yeah.
I had last week. I followed a friend behind a yard sale, and I called him. I'm like, "Why did you pick up this Dyson?" Because we'll both buy vacuums. And he said, "Look at the very bottom; it's cracked along the bottom." I had missed that part, and so it's another.
And again, when you're out there, you probably get excited about something, and if you're collaborating with others, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw that. I put it back because." And because you got excited, you don't look at that kind of stuff.
Right. Yes.
Here's a good story. Same guy 3 weeks ago. Tracy calls and says, it's Saturday morning. I'm in an estate sale. He's like, get your butt to this estate sale right now. I'm like, why? He goes, because I sell at an auction he didn't sell at. He's like, this stuff is so cheap. You're going to do really well at your auction. And so I get over there and fill half my van up for $110. It sold last night. The first of 2 lots sold last night for $900.
Wow!
So, and I've got another set going. It'll probably do this Thursday night. It'll probably do 6. So that one call is going to make me like $1,400 just because I have a friend who knows what I sell, and he doesn't sell there, so he had no interest in most of it. So, but he knows I can do something with it. So I went over there, and we picked in that same building for like an hour and a half. We had so much fun that day.
Yeah,
and that's why I always say, don't be afraid to collaborate with others. You know, somebody may collect something else and they're outsourcing, they see it, and you have a contact, you know, so you can contact each other and say, look, would you be interested in this? They may not be able to go that day, but if you take a picture of something and say, look, this is what it is, you may better pick it up for them as well. So you just,
yeah, true. Exactly.
Yeah, because he's got a connection that'll sell. He can sell clothes to another reseller. So if I see jeans and stuff for $1, I always pick them up and let him take them to his friend, because he flips them immediately. When you know what other people around you sell, there's one thing I found in life that I think is 100% true. If you got friends and groups like that, if you can't outgive, the more that you help others, man, it pours back into your life, and it does.
It'll turn right back on you.
And it makes you, reselling is lonely, folks. You do so much by yourself. Any chance you get to really expand. See, we have wing night tonight. 5 or 6 of the guys meet every Tuesday night. Look forward to it every Tuesday night, just because you spend time with people who get it. But it's the more you help, you can't outgive others. I promise you. You try me on this. And I didn't make this up. You know, you can read
100%.
A good book and find a lot of this kind of philosophy in the Old Testament. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely amazing.
Also, another thing too is bordering. Like some people may have something they want to give you, and then you may want to give them something that they have that you have that you don't want to sell, but they do.
Right.
Do it. You know, why not? You know, even though the values may be different, that's still that concept of just giving it to them.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Being a regard also criticized being it. Yeah, and again, it's the best thing to do is work with others, collaborate with others, and don't be afraid to tell people what you do, because they may not know what you're doing.
Yeah. That's right.
Especially estate sales. If you have local companies, so I have one that I go to, and I'm one of the few people that buys electronics, and she just collects remotes. When I see her every couple of weeks, she's like, "There's a bag of remotes in there," and I've been collecting from sales. I'm like, "What do you want for them?" I'm just keeping them for you, because you're the only one knows what they go to.
So nice. That's great.
Yeah.
I'll walk through the house and I'll pick up stuff and go, "This goes to this to help her sell stuff." Right. I'm like, "This goes to this goes to that," and she'll like, "We don't have a clue."
I've never heard that one before, Uni. I like that one. Awesome sauce, sisters.
Yeah. And it's true. If you know something and they don't, and help them. It's amazing how many people don't know that a remote control goes to whatever. You can help them out as well. And it makes them sell.
I was in Arkansas a month ago. That was crazy.
Yeah. You just never know what you can do to help somebody and make their day. Make them a sale.
I had way more fun in Missouri, but Arkansas was not nice to me. I was doing retail arbitrage in the corner above Memphis, and it's weird. You drive in Missouri, all the stuff I'm looking for is there, and none of it is in Arkansas. That was kind of
On the 127 sale route, is there any place that you don't recommend anybody to go to as far as in that route?
No, because the most interesting thing about it is, as it starts in Alabama and weaves through Tennessee, most people, most people are geographically challenged, but Tennessee is flat. So you get through Tennessee in about 2.5 hours. Kentucky, it kind of weaves. The stuff changes. The stuff that you find in Tennessee is not the same as you find in Kentucky, and Ohio is completely different. So you can find, if you want to get some, so I've got a good friend who sells at the auction I do. He's leaving today. He's got a truck and a trailer. He will do auctions every night and do the yard sales and stuff during the day. And then he will rent a U-Haul trailer and transfer everything to it and bring it down here Sunday, and then drive back up there Monday, because he's doing the Michigan. There's a Highway 12 across Michigan next week. It goes from about where Two Hip Chicks are all the way across to Detroit. And so he's going to do that one. So he'll have an extra trailer, and he does auctions at night and yard sales in the day. It's a
wow, that's amazing.
Like, people up there sell different stuff, and they want it down south down here. Whereas the stuff we have, that's just, if you're ever near Pennsylvania, the auctions in Pennsylvania are amazing. My mother has drug stuff from Pennsylvania down to around Philadelphia and in the Jersey area. She's drug all just trailer loads of stuff down and then sold it in North Carolina. It's amazing when you get that stuff down south, what it does.
Yeah. It's funny because that's how I feel about everywhere else. I'm like, the West Coast has all this awesome stuff, and South, I'm like, we can't get it.
But what's amazing with YouTube, since I started watching it, I've seen so many videos during this time of these different highway sales that people actually bring these truckloads, trailers, and getting them loaded and then bringing them back down south because of the fact they can't get some of the things that they're finding on these highway sales. Yeah. So if you have the time, you have the equipment, do it. Because it's amazing. I'm just surprised. Yeah.
That's why we kept my dad's truck. I bought my dad's truck off my parents because we didn't want to lose the truck because it's a full-size truck with a hitch. So we could pull lots of stuff with it. So
exactly.
But you'll be amazed. So I use a minivan, a Toyota, and I never have seats in it. You'll be amazed.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed what
a lot of stuff in that. Yeah. Yeah,
I have filled that. I've been in 41 states buying stuff. I have filled that thing up to the front seats where I barely had room. I've now got a topper on it that adds even more.
Wow.
Nice.
But I've got a truck and a trailer too, and I'll drag it. I just don't like you get out of the South, gas gets too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to know how to pack your trucks too, because that's I
like
can fit a whole apartment in one truck.
Shane not only does good packing boxes, she's also very good at packing the truck up.
Yeah, I should have been a mover.
When we have to pack stuff up, I'm like, just let Shane do it. My dad tries to. I'm like, Dad, just let Shane do it. Just let her do it. It's like Tetris. She has constantly going to Tetris.
Yeah, I know where everything goes.
It's like me being in the military. I can still pack everything I need and then fill it better than anyone that I know of in my area because they just can't seem to get everything in that vehicle. I said, give me a chance. I'll get it there for you.
Yeah. Randy's got a good question, but it's not the answer she's looking for. Bigger cities have higher prices, but they turn over so much stuff. Smaller cities have better prices, but you don't get the selection because, the donation, they only get. So you kind of pick your poison. You need a mixture. I would tell you need a mixture of both. If you come up to where you can do both. So we have, Huntsville's not great with thrifts, but we have one really good store that has 4 locations. So I'll go to them today because it's senior day. We get 25% off today.
Yeah, we're going out today too because it's 25% off today. Yeah. We're right outside of Philadelphia. So we can go into Philadelphia. And we found a couple Goodwills that we can now get into on the other side of Philadelphia. So we have the smaller towns here in New Jersey, and then we just hop over the bridge, and we're in Philadelphia, and we can go.
Yeah, they got good stuff over there in Philly.
If you only knew how many times I've been to Philadelphia chasing Rite Aids, because there are 110 Rite Aids in Philadelphia.
Wow.
They used to be my big thing. I would go there once every 4 months. So I stay in Cherry Hill and then go over to. So I didn't.
We're right in Cherry Hill's 10 minutes. We're right near Cherry Hill. We're like
because
10 minutes.
You can't stay in Philadelphia. I might lose my life. And Cherry Hill, you feel pretty safe. So I just try to come back.
Yeah. That was the other thing too about Philadelphia going out with the 2 guys that took us. He knows Philadelphia very well.
Yeah.
So he took us to a lot of places we didn't know, and then we feel comfortable going to them because we pulled up to other places and we're like, no.
Yeah.
You gotta get out of here.
Yeah. We pulled up a Salvation Army, and I think we were near Kensington. I'm like, no, we're near Kensington. We have to get out of here. We cannot get out of the car. Do not get out of the car.
And there's no parking too. That's the other thing.
But those are the best. I went to I think I had waited in New Jersey. I think I might have been in Trenton or Camden, one of those around that area. And there was a Rite Aid right beside a bus station. There was all these people that were camped out, and I'm like. There was street parking. I'm like, I'm just gonna run in there real quick. I'll make sure I grab my Second Amendment. And and that store had more stuff in it because nobody goes to it because of the area. You'd be amazed. Those areas like that, people just don't buy stuff. They're gold mines.
Yeah, we do have a place in Trenton, so we do go to Trenton a lot too.
There's Salvation Army
and there's a Salvation Army that is a little sketchy, but we'll go in it.
Yeah,
we're like, okay, we'll just put your head
up
high and just walk in with confidence.
I've ended up under the L in Philadelphia. I've been to all kinds of crazies in Philadelphia. It's been
yeah.
But it's always I'm never. you treat people kind, and they know. I mean, I've never had a problem. Everybody's been so nice.
Yeah, you
Yep.
slap a smile on your face, and just smile at
And
everybody.
walk fast.
Yeah.
They want to know where I'm from because
He's ready to jump back in the car.
I don't sound like them, so they want to know where I'm from. They want to talk to me.
Right. Yeah.
Well, everybody, it's getting that time. We're gonna go ahead and I don't want to keep Heather and Shane too much longer because again, that's Senior Citizens Day today. And
Well, we're
gonna
not
give
senior
that
citizens, but I got 25% off because I'm a member.
Yeah, it's member.
We're getting there.
Member day.
We're like knocking on the door.
Yeah, I got two more years.
I remember when I was 48 years old, I started getting the membership applications for AARP. And then when I turned 49 and a half and 49 and a half, I got the application, I filled it out, and that way when I was 50, I got it. So yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah, I qualify for seniors. It's 55 for me today, so seniors today here.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
I definitely get the 55 discount for seniors. The other day I went to Salvation Army and she gave it to me automatically. She says, "Are you 55?" I said, "I'll be 58." And it actually had to be like a week or two after my birthday. I said, "Yeah, I'm 58." So I was able to get that 30% off discount at the Salvation Army. So
nice.
So before we end the show, I would love to thank again Heather and Shane for coming on over and sharing their experience with us and answering questions. Before we end the show, I would like for y'all to give tips on what you recommend people doing when going out sourcing, especially for things that are maybe they're afraid of picking up.
Oh, tips. Now you put me on the spot.
definitely have your calculator. If you're gonna do bundles, have your calculator ready so you know. And even if you have to just keep adding in your calculator how many items to help you keep track. That was one thing I thought of the other day. I'm like, I should just have my phone out and just keep adding stuff in.
Always have your black light. Because the things that you don't know glow. I mean, I've been to an estate sale. They had this beautiful Fenton custard vase with a beautiful peacock on it. And they had it for $5. And I'm like, I bet you this thing glows. And it sure did glow like crazy. Glowed like the Dickens.
Glows like the Dickens.
And sometimes you just don't know. And sometimes they don't know. So, always check things out with your black light.
And Scott, any tips for when you're going out sourcing while you're on the panel with us?
So the big thing Thursday is you carry a freaking computer, folks. Get over the fact that people, they might see me looking up something. They don't care.
I gotta get over that. I was nervous at first, pulling out the phone and looking, but now I don't care.
if you're worried about it, just tell them a family member might be interested. I'm gonna text them and see if they want. They don't know what you're doing on your phone. It's Google Lens is so freaking fast. It'll link you to it and help you make a decision so fast. Because that's the key. You pick up the normal stuff, but if you learn as you go and expand your knowledge, if you want to really, really take advantage of a sale, learn more stuff each time you go to a sale.
There's a video I watch where every time she's out sourcing, and it's so funny. She'll look up some stuff and she'll say, I'm sending my boyfriend a message to see if he might want this. And it's funny because she's looking up the prices. But one of the other tips I want to give out when you're going out sourcing, especially like with your black lights, you get your little eye loops, regular screwdrivers, especially if it's electronics and it has those little screwdriver pieces that you have to take the screws out to see, making sure that the battery compartments are in great condition. Because the worst thing to pick up is something that you think might be a great sale. And you get home and you wait till you get home to open it and it's all corroded and there's no way to clean it. Then you just waste money. So make sure you have some screwdrivers, Phillips and regular as well, for that reason. And I always carry a carry bag with me that has everything I need when I'm sourcing.
We use Mark and Mike gave us those little pouches, the little zipper pouches. I have that, and I have my loop, and I have my black light all in there. And so I carry Mark and Mike with me all the time.
Yep, their faces pop out all the time when we're shopping.
And one more thing too, if you can, get yourself an earth magnet. I carry this with me at all times too, but I've been using it lately. It's an earth magnet, because if you're outsourcing for jewelry, this is another way to see if it's real or not. So that's another little.
We went down a little bit in jewelry. We came across some jewelry things, and
don't throw away just because they're corroded. Captain Opner, he's right. Vinegar will clean a lot of the post up.
Correct.
But if it's gotten down into the board where you can't see, I made that mistake. I bought 9 GPS units at an auction, and all 9 of them were corroded. I was so mad. 2 out of 9 worked. 2 out of 9 worked.
Yeah. I'll never forget my very first experience here in Massachusetts. Robert brings me to this Savers. Never been to one. And what's the first thing I do? I'm taking out my phone. I see that little Billy Bass fish thing. It was still in the box. I bought it because oh my God, it looks good. Never thinking, take the screwdrivers with you to unpack. I get it home. I open it. It was corroded. So I couldn't do anything with it. And it was going for good money. But that was how I learned bringing screwdrivers with you.
Yeah,
but also
the
black lights, use them on jewelry as well. You'd be surprised how much jewelry goes.
Oh, I didn't know that. And see, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And always rub your hands over everything, checking for chips, because sometimes you don't see it, but you'll feel it.
Give it a good feel.
Yeah. And I want to say hello to Marcy. Hello, good morning, and welcome, Marcy, and anyone I might have missed. Also, don't forget Toby's birthday is today. I saw it on Facebook. That's how I remembered. Happy birthday, and hope you have a great birthday. And so, as I say before in each and every show, if anybody would like to come on after the show's over, that link is still at the top of the chat. And this Thursday, I will be having, and I just got the notification that she replied to my email. So this Thursday, we're having Creations by Dion, and we'll be discussing big buyouts. If y'all haven't checked out her channel, she has done, and I have done this myself. That's why I'm glad to get these different channels to come on up and talk about these topics, is buyouts. I've bought out so many different things that is fun. But she did a quilting company, fabric store. So that's some of the things we're going to talk about this Thursday. And so if you know of anybody who has certain things that they like sourcing and would like to share this every Tuesday and Thursday, I try to bring on guests on, and that's what our topic is for that day, that morning. Don't forget every Friday is the Would You Buy It or Would You Leave It a segment. And don't forget every morning we come back on 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Todd.
We have our show tonight too.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to that too. Is Queen City Picker going live, or is it Todd today? Do y'all know?
It's Queen City.
Okay, Queen City Picker's going live. It should be live already. So before we do exit, promote your channel and what you have going on.
Oh, so it's Tuesday, so we have our live sale tonight at 6:30. It's just Eastern time. So this is what we're selling tonight. Get a good look. Yeah. We got some good stuff tonight. So that's tonight. And then Sundays we do thrift hauls, usually in the afternoons. We do we don't have a specific time.
But we do go live and we just pop on in.
Yeah, so we just pop on live. And so if you have your notifications on and also have them on your phone, please make sure that you on your phone have YouTube, go into the YouTube app and hit notifications on. Because even if you have notifications set on YouTube, you need to have it also on your phone that will give you a little pop-up on your phone that that person's going live. Next week, we're going to be on, we're not going to have our auction on Tuesday because on Wednesday at 6, we're going to be on the Thrill of the Thrift channel. That's with Dee in New York. So the Thrill of the Thrift, we're going to be on her channel on Wednesday. And then we're looking to have a pop-up possibly on Friday with someone, maybe Marianne, All the Attic Treasures, or someone on Friday. And then we'll be on Mark and Mike's channel, Two Old Guy Vintage, the end of August. And then Tooch's Touch of Glass at the end of August. So that last week in August, we're going to have 3 shows. And then we're probably going to take 2 weeks off before we go back to school. So.
All right, Scott. Tell me what you got going on your channel and what you got going on coming up soon.
Just every Wednesday morning, I do the live show. I've been doing it for 5 years, 6 years. And then on Friday nights on my second channel, which is the Conspiracy Channel, if you want to take a walk on the wild side, we talk about all conspiracies, all kinds of craziness is going on in this world today. But yeah, the live show. I'm trying to get back into doing more videos. I'll wear a camera Thursday to the 127. Trying to get myself. Johnny will tell you it's hard to get. If we stop making videos, it's hard to start back up. So
yeah,
currently,
exactly. Now, didn't you have a podcast?
Yeah, the PPP podcast. It's every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Central. I think it's me, Josh, and John.
Yeah, because every now and then I'll see it in the morning when I'm working and I watch it while I'm working. Yeah.
So we're the serious podcast. Everybody else is, has a good time and carries on. We just turn the camera on and start talking about reselling. So whatever we come up with.
That's right.
Nice.
All right, so everybody, thank y'all so much for always coming out, and don't forget to check out Heather's channel as well. And the Revive It sisters, they just hit over 500 subscribers.
I just subscribe.
Thank you. We'll do the same if I'm not already.
And then again, everybody who's in the chats, Jennifer's been dropping links, so make sure you go. The chat will be up available. Again, it takes 12 to 24 hours to show up.
Okay.
So if you want to come back and get somebody's links, make sure you do that. But if you do not close the YouTube channel after we end, you still can go up so far up and get channels if you were trying to find them. Okay. So as I say before you end each and every show, love always. Love is always free. Please be kind to one another till we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and fabulous day. And until we meet again, later. Peace out. And y'all come back now. You hear?
Bye.
If you want to come on, the show is over.